on recent latest teaching practices. Before I take the ball rolling, we have two types of teachers. We have the good teachers and we have the bad teachers. We are not concerned about the bad teachers. Now, the first question that will come to your mind if I say we have good teachers and bad teachers is, who are the good teachers, right or wrong? Seeing this banner, I'm very sure almost 70, 80 or 90% of you will think what we have displayed here is discussed here. We'll only talk about teaching aids. Now, what we say good teachers? In context with this program, be a master improviser, a wake-up call for primary and secondary school teachers in Niger State, Nigeria. In context with this program, a good teacher is that teacher who go to class fully prepared with well-planned lesson plan. And teacher is going to enlighten you about, it's not going to be, there's not going to be much to say about what you do before you commence your lesson, but what you face while the lesson can start. Maybe before we go to this, velocity. This question is completely off biology. It's under physics. What do you do? Maybe you are teaching, in the process of teaching, a student asks you a question you don't know. Even if that question is under the topic you are teaching them at that particular moment, what do you do? In the first instance, the student that asks question, you are teaching biology, will get answers to this. If a student asks you questions under the topic you are teaching and you don't know, because some of these students could be wonderfully prepared before the lesson commences, what do you do? You find a way of covering the issue, or you bury the student like that, or you tell the student the wrong answer, which in future he or she will find out that you are a liar. What do you do? Maybe something happened, a bird just fly into your lesson, into your class. Students, everybody will be carried away, everybody will get frightened. What do you do? Maybe you are teaching. If it is computer, if it is something that has to do with using power, and something along the line happens, the light goes off. You just shut down the lesson like that and say, because NEPA have taken light, we don't have solar, we don't have battery, we don't have this, that is all. All these are surprises that you as a teacher did not prepare for before going to class. But while you are teaching, those things develop legs and wings and crawl into your lesson. How you deal with them to make sure that your lesson did not stop and your lesson objective or goals is still achieved make you a master improviser. Who is a master improviser? Every lesson has lesson objectives, right? A lesson goal. This is what I want the students to achieve at the end of by the end of the lesson. That objective, you have it in your mind. It's a goal. It's a destination you want to reach. Now, those surprises that find their ways into your lessons without you preparing for them, dealing with those surprises effectively and still achieve your lesson goal make you a master improviser. So a master improviser is that teacher who manages his or her lesson effectively, all those surprises that he or she did not prepare for, or the surprises that are not captured in his or her lesson plan, and yet achieve lesson objective or goal, that teacher is a master improviser. And this is where we all have issues. We have different examples that we will talk about. Now, that process, that practice of you or a teacher managing the surprises that he or she did not prepare for and still achieve lesson objective, that particular practice is called improvisational teaching method. Are we together? You know, let me use this. Subject, this is how your typical lesson plan should look like. Subject, topics or topic, duration, instructional materials, teaching methods, previous knowledge, learning entry, behavior, this. In your evaluation as a teacher, you know you prepare questions that you ask the students. Sometimes other questions might find their ways into the lesson that are not captured in your lesson plan. This is why it is very essential for every standard lesson plan to have this spelled out, teaching methods. If you are writing a lesson plan and you did not spell out teaching method, the methods you want to use to teach that lesson, that makes your lesson plan inconclusive. And because there is no way we will start the lesson from the beginning to the finish without encountering challenges or surprises that are not captured in our lessons, and yet we will be forced to deal with them, it is very essential that where you are listing your teaching methods, if you say lecture method, demonstration method, discussion method, then you add improvisational teaching method. If I should come to your class to supervise you, the first thing I do, I collect your lesson plan. I sit to watch how you teach. Then see how you flow with the topics, with the methods. By the time something happens, and you deal with that thing while you are teaching, and that thing you dealt with is not captured in your lesson, and you did not mention among your selected methods that you have improvisational teaching method, you are not ready. Or by the time I say improvisational teaching method and something happens, and you drop all the plans, sometimes what you plan is different, but what you encounter while teaching will be entirely different. But yet, you manage all the situation and still achieve your. One of the teaching methods that you should put or select is improvisational teaching method, because you have proven that you are prepared as a master improviser, that whatever happens while you are teaching, you are ready and able to the task to deal with them. Before I continue, previous knowledge and learning entry behavior, these two should be in your lesson plan. They are different things. Previous knowledge is the last topic you taught. What you think your students know about the lesson, the new lesson you want to teach them, is their learner's entry behavior. If you are teaching water, for instance, your perception, your belief will be that your students have ideas about water, sources of water, types of water, use of water, and the like and the like. Are we together? That is their learner entry behavior. So it is possible that you have a lesson note without learner's behavior, but it is not possible to have a lesson plan that is not having previous knowledge. I don't know whether we get what we are saying. What I'm saying is this: it is possible to put, but it is not possible to put only this without this. If you go to objectives, the latest or ideal practice is this, and this is where almost 90% of teachers are found wanting. We prepare our lesson objective, putting into consideration only the interests of one category of learner. Lesson objective 1, the student should be able to list. Objective 2, should be able to explain. Objective 3, should be able to discuss. This is all capturing those students who can learn fast. Cognitive. What about those students who cannot learn when they hear you, or when they see, when they do? That is psychomotor and affective domain. You know, we have 3 types of educational domain. So any lesson note, if you give me a lesson note to mark, and I see in your lesson objective, list, mention, discuss, explain, I will not even look at the remaining things. I will just go like this. Because your lesson plan should reflect that you have captured the interest of all the categories of learners. Those that can learn by doing, those that can learn by application of knowledge, and not only those that can learn as you talk. Some students talk from now till tomorrow. It enters here and flies there after 5 minutes or 3 minutes. But when they see, forever it stands. When they do, forever they remember. Now you are preparing a lesson plan that is only saying list, discuss, explain. By implication, you have thrown the interest of the remaining categories of learners into the dustbin. This is not the right practice. Now come back to our main topic of discussion. As a master improviser, how do you become one if you are not one of them? We say a master improviser is that teacher who manages surprises that find their ways into his or her lesson and yet still achieve it or lesson goals. If you want to become a master improviser, in case you are not one, you must be ready to operate on 3 rules. Use what is available in the class. Then you must be ready to watch or listen more than you talk. These 3 rules, if you stick to it, it makes you a master improviser. We'll pick these rules one after the other and use some example to explain them. If you want to be a master improviser, you must be ready to be a yes teacher. And for instance, just like we said, you are teaching mathematics, addition of numbers or multiplication of numbers, and a student just raise his or her hand and say, "Auntie, uncle, why did we blink our eyes?" Ideally, some of us will get angry. In math class, this is one of the surprises. You capture it in your lesson plan? No. But you are made to deal with it. Now, instead of condemning, in fact, in education, it is completely ruled out to condemn a student, even if he or she is wrong or say a wrong answer. In this case, what you're supposed to do is to say, yes, this is a good question, but you know we're in mathematics class. But however, class, let's look at this. Maybe you are teaching addition of number, multiplication of number. You say, okay, now, in a day, let's say you blink your eyes. In 1 minute, you blink your eyes 30 times. In 24 hours, how many times did you blink your eyes? You know, this is like a diversion, but you have used it to help you teach what you are teaching. Are we together? Oh, Okay, everybody carry your biro. Let's say in 1 minute, you blink eyes 30 seconds, 30 times. In 24 hours, how many times can you blink your eyes? That has helped you to teach the ongoing topic. Instead of condemning that student, you are an master improviser by accepting that surprise. And you accepting it made you a yes teacher. Yes, this is a good question, but for biology teacher. But even though it is for biology, we can still use it to explain what you are doing. Then you bring that. Maybe in 3, 4, 5 seconds, the student have given you the answer, and then you bounce back to your lesson plan. So if you want to be a master improviser, you must ready to be yes teacher. And this hand is connecting the surprises to your lesson objective. Whatever you are doing in handling the surprises that are not captured in your lesson plan, and you are forced to deal with them, whatever you are doing, make sure you don't throw your lesson objective into dustbin. Because you are teaching, a lizard ran into the class and everybody started, and you just, maybe you use the next 15 minutes or the whole remaining minutes to chase the lizard out. Maybe if it is bad, there are ways you can, whatever you can do. And this is why every teacher should prepare for these surprises. Do something quickly, think for something quickly about the surprises and connect it back to your lesson objective. If you do that, that makes you a master improviser because you have forced yourself into the categories of yes teacher. For you to be a master improviser, another rule is you must make use of the available happenings in the class. Maybe for instance, something happened. A student started vomiting. You know, it's a distraction. Instead of you to get panic, if you are a chemistry teacher, if you are a biology teacher, if you are a basic science teacher, the first thing you should do is to quickly manage that situation, but in a way that you get it connected to whatever topic you are teaching at that moment. Somebody will say, I'm vomiting if I'm teaching maths. Vomit again if I'm teaching biology or chemistry. You think of the topic you are teaching. If it is chemistry, for instance, maybe it is you are teaching hardness of water. Then you can relate that something to a reason why she is vomiting in the class. One, quickly manage the situation out of the class, and then you continue your lesson. So for you to become a master improviser, apart from being a yes teacher, then you must be ready to work with whatever opponents that find their legs and wings into your lesson. Then, for you to be a master improviser, instead of talking too much, you watch more and listen more. If you are a teacher and you are teaching and your students are confused, you will know, except you are not a good teacher. Your own is just to come and talk and go away. No matter the population, if you are teaching, good classroom management is very good. It's very, very good. So if you have your good classroom management, if your students are working along with you, you will know. If they are out of your scene, you will know by watching, sometimes by listening. That does not mean that if you ask a question and a student say no, any question, no, say, they have understood. Many of them will not understand, but the shyness, the fear of you saying, oh, so for the 30 minutes I've been saying this, you didn't remember this and that and that. Some of them may keep quiet while they are confused. So they say yes, no question. But from the excitement we see in their faces, From their reactions, you see or observe while you are teaching, you will be able to know if they are actually with you or not. But yet, that does not give you guarantee to a kind of say because you see them active and willing or participating in the lesson, you will not ask questions. You still ask questions to confirm what you are thinking, whether it is true or not. I remember while we are doing our master's program, one professor was teaching us one advanced analytical chemistry. When he started, we were going along with him, but along the line, we got lost. That day, that was the first day I remembered and I authenticated that good teachers are always good teachers. He was going, as if somebody whispered into his ears and said, your students are lost. He stopped and said, it's like you are lost. We say yes. He now drove back and take it from exact point we got lost. That up till this moment, I'm still surprised. Who told him that it is from this point we lost in the journey? We got lost in the journey. Then he changed the methodology, he changed the approach, and we were all carried along. So as a master improviser, you must be ready to what? To listen more, to watch more than you talk. How do you get it right as a master improviser? Know your lesson goals. The fact that surprises that you did not plan for find their ways into your lesson did not mean that you will throw your lesson objective into dustbin while dealing with them. You be wise, harvest those surprises, your current lesson, and make sure you achieve your lesson objectives. So you must make sure that one, you know and remember your lesson objective. You hold it like this. Whatever you are doing should help, whatever surprises that you encounter while teaching should help you to what? Teach better. Channel them to your lesson, to your main topic, and then use it to achieve your lesson objective. Another important thing, if you want to get it right as a master improviser, is that one, you must be ready to go off the plan. You have planned your lesson. Maybe in your evaluation, you plan, define energy, calculate work done, demonstrate this. If students ask you different questions that are completely different from what you put in your lesson plan, accept it. Deal with their own interest. Do you understand? And drop your own. If you still want to add your own questions, your time will run off. Their own, provided it is linking to your topics. That is all. And that makes you okay. So, if you want to be a master improviser, you must be ready to go off your plan. And this is why if you put improvisational teaching method among your teaching methods, it tells whoever is watching you teaching that you know what you are doing. Yes, the question you dealt with in the class is not about what is power, calculate work done, but it is relating to the topic you are teaching. You understand? Then another thing that you should do to get it better is you make sure, just like we've been saying, all the surprises that find their ways into your lessons are channeled back to helping you to achieve your lesson objective. Then briefly, teaching aids. Teaching aids. Most of us have this notion. This subject, I'm not teaching it, so who tell you? It is you that is not ready for the lesson. This topic I'm teaching now, maybe it is culture, dress code. Where will I get this one is not teaching it, this and that. Every topic, every subject have teaching aids. As a good teacher, if you are preparing for the next lesson, what do? What you do is this. If you think and you cannot get any reasonable teaching aids, ask Google. They will tell you from the list of items, you will be able to know which one can you lay your hands on physically. If there are none that you can lay your hands on physically, sometimes you can use your phone. You Google. Maybe you want to teach teach about some instruments that you don't have in the school and you don't have anywhere to borrow it. Google it out while you are teaching. Show the students. They see. That is a teaching aid, and it has helped you to teach. Are we together? So, teaching aids have a lot of advantages. There was a time somebody just finished a lesson, like those teaching in primary school, because that is where we have challenges. You don't care about teaching aids. You take one class from the beginning to the end. You don't care. You teach English, you switch to maths. You teach maths, you switch to social studies and the like. We saw social studies teacher who just finished primary 2 teacher who just finished teaching mathematics and say, students, excuse me, please. I want to use the restroom. He entered. The next 3 minutes, he was dressed like this before that while he was teaching mathematics. Then the next 3 minutes, they saw him with Ashoke and whatever. He entered the class. Students, everybody, uncle, everybody, including those that are sleeping, woke up. They want to know why. In the next 3 minutes, uncle that was wearing suit before is now in agbada and this kind of cap, and he now stepped forward. He wrote culture. Even while he was teaching, students are still keen. Nobody played. They want him to mention something why he changed his brain. So if, as a teacher, you have a lesson, you have a teaching aids, it speaks for you. If you speak 10 words, it will be reduced to 2 or 3. Just paste it. Like some of us who are science teachers, the moment you go to the class with items, you don't need to take them to the lab all the time.